What's going on, guys? It's your boy Angus here, along with Fallon.
Yo.
And today, as you can see by the thumbnail of this video, that I haven't quite decided the series name for this, but it will be in the thumbnail, so then you'll know what it is. But we're going to do a new series today, and I'm going to show you new, exciting, awesome spells that are yet to be released inside the game. Okay, so this is secret, and I have a secret supplier, you know, that's sharing me these secret spells that are in the future in the game. Okay, JK. These spells may or may not one day be released in the game. However, they are spells that were sort of made by a very talented person whose Twitter will be in the link below. But I don't want to share the surprise until, you know, the end of who he is. And, yeah, most definitely. Okay, so, you know, Jake just ports to me. You know, okay. But, yeah, definitely. Anyway, I'll have the spells up, you know, on the screen. And, yeah, you guys can, we're going to comment on, you know, how good the spells are. And you guys, you know, tell us what you think in the comments below. So, I have a few spells today. They're actually very interesting. I don't want to ruin the surprise. They'll probably be in the thumbnail. So, yo, let's go check out the first one. Alright, guys, so we got the first spell here on the screen here. It is the DEATHMASTer, also the Death Loremaster, and the version of the spell. And it gives 465 damage to their life, and it converts 25% of that to healing for yourself. But it also gives a -65 healing debuff on the person that it was attacked. So as you guys can see, 85% accuracy, 4 pips. The 4 pip spells for death would be vampire per se. How much damage does that do?
350.
So this is like, you know, a lot of death when they want to kill you off. Usually they'll use their vampire or whatever. But that does only 300 something damage. This does 465. And if you're facing against a life, that puts a -65 healing debuff on it. However, like, is it needed? If I haven't already said that, we're gonna rate these spells between underpowered, needed, and overpowered. So that's our ratings for the spell. So is it needed per se?
Well, I mean, add that with an enchant. I mean, that's basically like doing like a lot.
Oh, it is doing math. So the spamming, maybe this could be the spell that brings death back into the game, especially if they're fighting a life. Like,
yeah, with the
that -65 to the next, like, they spam that on a life. You understand how mass that would do?
Exactly.
It'd be ridiculous. Well, you know, I would say this is a definitely a needed spell that Def could bring back to the PvP game. What do you agree, Alvin?
I think it's overpowered, to be honest. Like, it does more than an actual Loremaster itself. With its base being at, like, I think 352 or something, 340, something like that.
You're saying it's overpowered? You're saying it's needed? I mean, but think about it, like, Def doesn't have
and especially with, like, if you get a balance that heals a lot, and then if you get a life, ouch, that's gonna suck. Major dick.
True, but I mean, Def is right now at the bottom of the PvP boards.
I know, but that would bring him up too much. Maybe if they debuffed it a little bit.
Fair enough. I personally going to still could say this is needed, and following here is saying that this is an overpowered spell.
It is overpowered, very overpowered.
And let's go to the next spell, which is the FIREMASTer, which gives 200 initial damage in the hit, plus a 300 fire damage in the overtime. It gives a -25 accuracy debuff and a -25. Oh, and a +25 blade to the next spell. So, this is a very, very interesting card because it's an overtime. And what? How much does Brimstone do?
470 and adds a trap.
470?
And adds a trap.
420 blaze it? No. Okay, 470 and adds a trap. Well, if you add this together, technically this is 500 damage, so it's already doing more than the Brimstone. And it adds a trap. And how much is the trap? 25?
25, yeah.
Well, this is a 20% blade, which isn't much of a difference per se, but like, that's a really interesting spell. It gives them, so like, not only this is like a mini version of Burning Rampage, because the initial hit.
I think it shouldn't be an overtime.
I don't know. I think the fact that it is overtime makes it more powerful because everyone carries fire shields, fire set shields. Let's say, and you know,
Yeah, but
usually
I mean,
people like from watching fire PvP, usually people brimstone through a fire shield. But with this, it's like, oh, they got a fire shield, but all I need is the trap for brimstone, or I just need extra damage. You know, I'm just gonna use my FIREMASTer because not only will it take their shields off, it'll leave them open, and you know they're not, and I'll still be giving them damage through their shield because they still have that 300 damage left coming for them, especially if they were to crit, and it also gives them a blade and an accuracy weakness. What are you saying?
I say that it should be like it shouldn't be DOT. I think it should be one solid hit. They don't really have a lot of low pip solid hits.
Brimstone, Krampus.
Like I said, they don't have a lot, and Krampus isn't really used much in PvP if we're talking PvP wise.
I mean, true, but people still do use it. Isn't it 4 pips too, or is it 5?
4.
Exactly. So I don't know. I'm
But
saying,
I still think.
but fire is already up there, and they already have a bunch of spamming hits. So this to me is 100% without a doubt overpowered. Or what do you think?
I think it's overpowered.
All
But
right.
I also think that if you're gonna do something like that, that it should be
All right.
you know, a solid hit.
All right. And yeah. So this guy this one gets a rating of overpowered. Let's go on to the next one. And we got the Ice Master. 390 ice damage, minus 45% weakness, and an absorb for 350 damage. Now, can you please tell me, Father, how much does Winter Moon do? Just for 5 pips, how much does Winter Moon do?
Winter Moon does 495 and stuns the opponent.
So basically, this does 100 less damage than Winter Moon. However, it gives an absorb and a minus 45 accuracy. Now, it seems like I keep blaming these spells for being overpowered, but it just seems like it's just making them worse and worse. I mean, look at this. Ice Master. Like, Ice is already at the top of the PvP boards right now. And then you have something that gives 390 damage, a minus 45 accuracy, and a 300 absorb. 4 pips, and they could just spam absorb after accuracy after absorb after accuracy on themselves. It would just make them twice as hard to beat. All they have to do the whole entire match is just use the spell because it keeps giving them absorbs. So why wouldn't they keep using this? Who cares about strat? Just spam this. It gives me absorb, but they won't be able to touch me. You know what I'm saying?
The plus with the Weaver, like rip.
Oh yeah, and they have a Weaver shield and an absorb. Have fun trying to break those sets with absorbs too. And that 45 accuracy, like that's a lot. 45%. It's a lot. So, I'm going to say this is definitely overpowered.
Yeah, I say it's overpowered.
Alright, so it's a big fat overpowered on its head. And let's go to the next one. The LIFEMASTER. LIFEMASTER gives 400 damage, a minus 30% accuracy, and a plus 30% healing blade on themselves. Now, the only spamming hit Ice really has is Weaver. Can you tell me how much that does, damage-wise?
Weaver, like...
Luminous.
Okay. I was like, okay. Hold on. I didn't have this one already in advance.
I mean, what's good about the spell is that it does give the plus 30% healing blade to itself, to the person who casts it. Because as we know...
330 and gives a minus 25 weakness.
So this already does more than Luminous. Does more than Luminous, and Luminous already does a lot if you fight a life with good stats. It really does, if you're wide open. So, actually, I'm probably gonna vote this as needed because life can't really crit anymore. So their heals need to be.
Yeah, I say it's needed.
Their heals need to be buffed up, and that healing blade that it gives with it, that plus 30% would be very smart within the game right now. So I'm definitely gonna vote that the LIFEMASTER is needed. I will vote for the vote. Alrighty, and the next one is the MythMaster. 450 myth damage to the opponent, a minus 30% accuracy debuff, and a chance to summon a myth minion. So, I don't know. How much does Keeper of the Flame do?
Keeper of the Flame does 400 solid damage and gives a trap of 25%.
So this does 450 damage, which is a little bit more than Keeper of the Flame, but not by much. It gives a minus 35% accuracy and a chance to summon a minion. I mean, a chance. Who knows how broad that chance is? And looking back at all the minions that...
They're not that strong. Like, the best one they have is, like, Talos.
Yeah, and nobody summons that in max PvP. And so... This spell... I don't know, it just seems like, you know, if the spell were to come out, it'd be a short changing of myth as they usually do with spells that they come out with these days.
In all honesty, I say it's underpowered.
Yeah, I have to agree. I still, like, I usually beat myth a lot on my storm. They're never really that hard for me, especially if you can, you know, power your convictions or whatnot. So, like, I wouldn't see this as a threat. However, the minus 35% is smart on this because a lot of myths do carry the mantles and they'll mantle spam you to get rid of. So that way when you try to conviction against them, you'll fizz and they could, like, you know, try something else.
Yeah.
Usually that only works from second, but well, I guess you can do it from first too. But no, you can do it. Yeah, okay. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Fallon here and say this is underpowered. Let's go on to the next. And we have Shadowmaster here, which gives 4 pips and a shadow pip, which gives 100 shadow damage. It steals 1 power pip, destroys 1 a shadow pip, and puts a minus 40% mantle and a weakness, a minus 30 weakness on you. Now,
you gotta remember, these are gonna be a solid 8 power pips for new pips. Because, you know, you're
not for shadow. I wouldn't think. I wouldn't think for shadow. I feel like if it's for shadow, they would still let it be towards your pips, like they do the other shadow spells.
Nah. Well, you see, what the other shadow spells besides like strike and all them other ones, the other ones they're just like they're shadow spells, but they're 0 pips. This one's a shadow spell, like completely.
I think that because we are immune.
The other shadow spells are actually our school. These are not our schools. They're actually a shadow school. So therefore, it would not count towards our pip.
I mean, in my opinion, I feel like for a shadow spell like this, they would definitely make it where our pips can be used to it, per se, because the shadow is infused in us. So they're like connected to us in a way. Oh, we just lost it there. But anyway, personally, I feel like the Shadowmaster would definitely be used as a spell that is within us specifically. However, I don't know. The fact that it steals a power pip and destroys someone's shadow pip, like that's insane. That's huge. Alright, and she's back. And so yeah, as I was saying, like, this destroys 1 power pip and destroys their shadow pip. Well, no, it steals 1. So it steals as in gives you a power pip and destroys their shadow pip. I think this could be a very, very important spell. But it also comes with risks because you're not really doing any damage. I mean, you're wasting 4 pips. But you're wasting a shadow pip, in fact, to destroy someone else's shadow pip. Yeah, you're wasting a shadow pip to destroy their shadow pip. But it also gives them a weakness, and also like a Loremaster hit too, a more buffed Loremaster hit too, because it gives you that accuracy and weakness. To say this would be overpowered, it's hard to tell because we don't know if the 4 power pips were meant for just if the shadow. I think the shadow is connected to you, but Fallon here is saying that it will take 8 of your regular pips, or 4 of your shadow, or 4 of your power pips, and I'm saying it'll only take 2 of your power pips to make 4 regular pips. But, I don't know. Definitely leave a comment down below what you think how this spell would be. Now, how do you vote? What do you vote? Do you think this is needed or overpowered or underpowered?
I think, well, depending on which view it is, if you actually have to use like 4 actual pips, then underpowered. And considering that it's only 100 shadow damage and you really don't have damage to shadow, I'd say underpowered.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't do any damage. But if you were in a tricky situation, maybe you'd have to use this. But as of right now, because the damage is so low, I definitely agree that this is an underpowered spell, and if this were to spell to come to light, it would need to be some major changes. And another spell we have here is the Storemaster. You know, the best school in the game. You know, like
Yeah.
how much does a Kraken do, and how much does a Catalan do?
Let's see. Catalan does 700 solid damage and goes a -25 mantle. And then a Kraken does 520 through 580.
Can you repeat that again? Sorry.
Okay! A Catalan does 700 solid damage and gives a -25 mantle. And then a Kraken does 520 through 580 solid.
So it's like a Kraken, basically, that gives a -20 weakness and a +20 blade or minor chance of a -20 weakness back to yourself. So it's kind of a mix between a Kraken and a mini Rusalka, per se. I don't know. Like, as a Storm who 1v1s, 2v2s myself, I don't know. I mean, I definitely would use it over Kraken, because I do keep a couple Krakens in my deck, you know, for when I do need a quick hit. I would definitely use it over Kraken. However, I mean, the only thing that sets it from the rest is gives it that weakness. But it also gives you that chance of a weakness. It also gives you that minor chance of giving you a weakness. But giving the opponent a weakness, like, Storm has no spells that gives an opponent in weakness. So, like, that's very, very interesting spell to have. What do you think, Fallen?
I think it's overpowered. Storm already has, like, enough, like, Storm already, like, spams, like, so much already, but, I mean, you don't really see them, like, high up, like, past 1,000.
True. I don't know. I think if Storms could spam something like this, though, it would bring them back high in the game, as, you know, as the gods they were meant to be, back in the second age and first age when they were gods.
Yep.
But I say this is personally, and I think I'm saying this because I'm a Storm, and I would personally love to, you know, get my Storm back into the 1v game up into the, you know, 2,000 rank, if that will ever happen again. Probably not. Don't know. Depends on what King God do. But yeah, I'm gonna say this is needed. Fallen's gonna say this is overpowered. And let's move on to our last spell of the day, Astral Master. Okay, so this gives 220 sun, star, and moon damage, a -30% accuracy, and a 30% blade to yourself. Now, here's the thing about this spell. I am going to go flat out say that I think this is a crappy, useless spell. Now, you know, I'm not complaining. The art is good, you know, as the rest of them were. But personally, as far as, like, if this spell is needed or would it be useful, I have to say no. Because, I mean, now you can fight from the fact that no one has, like, everyone has resist to star, sun, and moon. Because as you can see, we resist our Maycast wands at Exalted. But if you're going to look at it as a hit-wise, like, no one has damage to either of those schools. So it would be significantly weak, and you're wasting 4 pips to put a weakness on them. And I'm just gonna flat out say that would definitely not, that would be a waste. I mean, at the same time, we don't have, you know, mastery to any of these schools at the same time. So I mean, would it be 4 regular pips, or would it be, you know, turn out to be, you know, 4 power pips? Who knows? But just to waste 4 pips to put a basically put a weakness on. I mean, it's a shield breaker, yes, but I could, at any school, you could really break something and put a weakness on someone for far less pips than to do that. So I'm gonna have to go and say this is very, very underpowered.
I'm gonna have to agree.
All right, guys.
I say it's underpowered.
Well, those are the new Loremaster schools, or Loremaster spells. If you want to see where they came from, check out Alexander Lionheart's Twitter, which will be linked down below. Also, Alexander Lionheart has a Wiz Card Maker Twitter where he designed these spells from, and I'll also link that down below. If you guys agree with the decisions we made, or agree with the ranking we gave them out of underpowered, needed, or overpowered, definitely comment below. If you like this video and you want to see more like it in the series of new spells, definitely leave a like on this video and definitely subscribe, because I will be doing more in the series. Let's try to go for at least 20 likes. If we can pass that, that'd be amazing. And yeah.
Sang.
This is aka Angus and Fallen Shadow. Our Twitters will be down below. And I guess we'll see you pros next time.
Bye!
And before I end this video, guys, I just want to do a little talking on my Balance Wizard here. I just want to explain something about the video. If you want to send in spells to be featured in the video, make sure you send a picture of your spell to the email anguslifeshield@gmail.com. It's in my about page on my channel, and I'm also gonna have a link in the description below. Well, I'm gonna have my email in the description below. So just if you want your spells to be featured in the show for me and some of the friends to commentate on, then definitely send them down below. And alright guys, as always, it's been me, and I'll see you pros